Attention, citizens. It's time for Super Pulp Science.
This is Super Pulp Science, where we talk about how genre gets made. I'm here with my long-suffering co-host, Justin Curry. He is known the world over as Chasing Artwork, and we're also here with a guest, Cori Jaye, a friend of the podcast who has come and shared our artistic journey with us a number of times. Welcome, Cori.
Thank you. So happy to be back.
Why don't you give our listeners a little backstory about you, just to getting to know you? Every episode is somebody's first episode.
Yeah, we're trying to go into that, thinking about if this is somebody's first time listening, what's going on? Yeah.
What do you do? Why do you do it?
Okay, so my name's Cori Jaye. I am primarily a painter. I primarily work with acrylic paint, and I do a variety of things. Not only just make paintings, but I make prints and cards of my work and other merch like that. And then I also do digital mentoring, as well as I teach classes. So right now I'm teaching some classes for the Winnipeg Art Gallery online. And yeah, I do quite a bit of different types of things. So my business is always evolving, and I'm kind of a one-woman show, so I do everything.
How would you describe your artwork to a person in this audio-only medium? How would you describe it to them?
My artwork is based around surrealism. So basically any scenes or concepts that are not based in reality or that have certain mystery to them, as well as I'm a huge fan of color. So all my paintings have extreme vivid color and really high color contrast and opacities.
Yeah, I would describe, I always think of your color schemes before the actual artwork itself. Your color schemes are very distinct. And yeah, I think the main impact of your style is the color scheme.
Lively, uplifting, they're joyous, even if sometimes there's a serious kind of tone in the imagery itself. The colors are always nope, feel good. Just feel good about this. You can look at this composition, but you should also be feeling good right now.
Yeah, that's right. I try and use as much color to convey my passion to the viewer. And also I work a lot with color theories. So I like to use lots of complementary colors to make super high contrast work and analogous color schemes. And I try and like you said, I try and think about the color honestly when I start the painting. It's not an afterthought. It's a full-on process.
And do you have traditional training? Cori and I, for the dear listener, Cori and I met at the graphic design program. You were the year after me.
Yes.
But before or after, have you taken traditional training, or is it all just on your own?
Yeah, so I actually went to Ontario College of Art and Design before that. And before that, I was in a specialty program for drawing and painting in Toronto.
Oh, cool.
That was through, in grade 10, I moved to Toronto. So I went to this specialty art school there, and then I went to OCAD, and then I couldn't stand Toronto. So I came back and did the graphic design program where we met at Red River.
Okay.
So yeah, I've had a lot of different types of art schooling, as well as when I was younger, I used to take classes at the WAG all the time. And
the Winnipeg Art Gallery, for those of you listening internationally.
Yes. Hello, international friends.
If you Google things that WAG, you'll get a variety of different kinds. So be careful. Just Winnipeg Art Gallery. That's better.
Thank you.
Now,
for
you're
specifying.
teaching for them, you said.
Yes, I'm doing teaching.
How does online art education work for you? I've done a little bit as a pivot over the pandemic, and it's to varying degrees of success. How have you found?
I am obsessed with it. So I actually did online classes for them when the pandemic first started. And
you were doing quite a bit of teaching before the pandemic as well.
Yes, exactly. I was doing online classes actually even before that, because I teach a bit on Skillshare, and I do a couple things like that. So I had already started, and then they wanted an online program. And so there aren't that many artists, I guess, locally that can combine the digital format and do their own editing and everything, as well as being an artist and all that entails too. So I took that on, and it was amazing. So we basically I would create a video and send it out, and then we would all get together on everybody's favorite Zoom, and we would talk about the class after a week. So people had time to do the class, and then we'd have that community aspect of it. So we do that, and then kind of repeat that process. And then when things started to open up a little bit, maybe like, I don't know, my timelines are totally a mess. So a little while ago, I was doing in-person classes, and then that got shut down halfway through. So that just ended abruptly. And then they asked me if I wanted to come back and do in-person classes again. And I said, the format for me isn't as good as the online format. I just so much preferred it.
Because you're in your own studio, using your own materials, everything that's yours is on hand.
That's right. Yeah. And also, I can create a whole project that someone can go through the whole project. It's very difficult to do that in a 3-hour time frame with people standing around you. You can do little demonstrations here and there, but you can't really walk them through the entire project with a voiceover explaining exactly all the information.
So you have like a video of the like a time lapse of you doing the entire thing, and then you're kind of talking about.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
So sometimes it's like by steps.
Yeah.
But
I
for the
take
most
your
part,
class. Let's sign up for your class. Are there
for the most part, it's
available?
like you said, it's like a full, like I'll do like a full, sometimes I'll be painting for 8 hours, and then I'll stitch it all together into like normally they're like 45 minutes to an hour long.
So hold on, back up. I did not realize we would go in this way, but I'm very interested in this whole. The art gallery said, come and teach a class. From their perspective, they're like, oh, it'll just be someone zooming in some information. And you said, no, here's a better way to do it. I'll produce materials that I can speak to over that time that are the entire project unfolding.
So they had asked me to do some pre-recorded classes, and I'm super type A, very perfectionist type. When I'm doing it for myself, I want to do it all the way type vibe. So I kind of took it like way further than they had initially asked for. I feel like that's important to say too.
Over-delivered.
Like over-delivered,
Yeah.
like more so.
Over-delivered. That's the Cori Jaye way.
Yeah. That's right. Like more so than I think a couple other people who had signed up to do it, which is not better or worse. It's just different. Like I just went like so far in, so much further, I guess, than whatever. And so I think that my process also maybe sparked a new way that nobody had thought about before, because these were the first online classes that they had ever done too, right? So it was a new kind of experience for everyone.
Movement gives shape to form.
I will marry whoever finds this ring. Jack!
This format is so versatile. Like you could do this anywhere, everywhere, right? Like, so it's not like you just figured something out that just worked in this one place. This will work
all over.
All over.
Yeah, that's right. So that's part of the beauty of it, is that I own all my content. So right now I'm developing a online school, if you will. That sounds so bougie, but it's like, whatever, of my own courses.
Don't apologize for an accomplishment.
Okay, thank you. For my own courses online, I found a platform called Teachable where I can set it all up myself and have access to, if I want to make bundles for people or that kind of thing, which I found kind of limiting in other platforms.
You mean like bundling class so they can buy a group of...
That's right.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
So you could buy like 5 classes for a discounted rate, etc.
Right.
And then still buy them individually, or also could do a subscription if you wanted. Like there's more flexibility on this platform that I found than other ones that I've used in the past. So the only issue is honestly, if you've done video, which I'm sure both of you have, it is so time consuming. And even just getting like one class to be cut up in the format to upload it to the website, it's just like hours and hours of work. And oftentimes it's like, 10 minutes of work and then like half an hour of sitting there and then like 10 minutes of work and half an hour just uploading everything
and then review it and then review it
exactly.
and then review it and then
it's
the music
just...
doesn't sync. Oh, my voice dropped out there.
Yeah,
oh,
are you doing a lot of video editing and stitching?
Yeah, so like I do all the editing myself,
and that's
so
a whole
that's
job
a whole,
in itself.
Exactly, that's a whole other thing. And like I often wish I could pay someone to do that, but then it's like there's this thing about telling someone like how to do it. Like it's difficult when you're it's like I've painted a class, right? So I painted a class, I've spent 8 hours painting. I can't just give 8 hours of painting footage to someone and say cut this up, because it's like they don't know like what's important in the 8 hours of painting.
And you kind of know what you want to talk about, so you know what to
exactly
you want to take out to talk about later in when you're actually doing the class.
And process builds
man.
In swells, right? You build, some of it's the ditch digging, the labor of like, I'm just getting these lines, I'm just getting this underpainting. But now this is the part where we have to pay attention to. Now I'm adding this highlight.
Exactly.
Now
it's like,
only you know that.
Exactly. And for me to like even write notes for someone is just like, I might as well just do it myself because it's just hours of...
So there's an oft misquoted, I'm sure you guys have heard it, jack of all trades, but master of none, is not the full quote. It's often truncated as if to say specialization is good, don't be a generalist. But the full quote is actually, jack of all trades, master of none, will still be better than a master of one. Right? And so here you are, you're a jack of all trades, you're putting all this together. If you could only do the one thing, you wouldn't be able to create this
for sure.
content.
For sure. And it's like I've basically taught myself all the editing software too. So that comes with a lot of challenges. Like, for example, if I want to take out like a weird sound that like happened in the background of one of my videos, I don't necessarily know how to do that. Like, I've gotten very good with the video, but the audio is a whole other thing to learn. So it's like...
That's why we have Jonas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
just about to say that.
Yeah. So for me, then I have to like spend time Googling and watching like videos on Premiere Pro and like trying to figure out how to do that. And it's amazing because, again, I'm just gaining more skills that I can share, which is amazing because that's another part that I've been doing a lot more of. Which is like digital mentoring, because, the digital world doesn't come with a manual.
Yeah, no.
So if you weren't born into a generation that came into it right away or grew up with it, then it can be very difficult or daunting to like try something new, right? So anyway, I have a practice mentoring people who want to bring their art practice online or create a website where I teach them how to use software and, different programs, social media, anything from that to editing.
Justin is leapt past the hurdle. If you look past at our old Cori Jaye episodes, you will find a Justin lamenting that he wished he had a website as good as Cori Jaye's website. More than once it came up. And so it's good to hear you say that, and that you've recognized that not everyone has this skill, and yet you found a way to help people do it.
Yeah, it's so awesome too, because it's all artists at this point anyway that come to me, and I don't do any advertising for my mentoring besides having it on my website. It's like all word of mouth, and it's been so awesome, so rewarding. And it's that act of service piece that I think comes with, everybody's, job in life, being alive, right?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, yeah.
So let me, I think last time we talked on the podcast, you were doing murals, you were teaching workshops, you had a Patreon going, you were taking on commissions, you're doing a lot of things. What is kind of the breakdown of your artwork business these days? So I imagine it's had to change quite a bit.
Totally. Yeah, it's totally changed. It's changing like every year. Mm-hmm. And I think that you should go with what flows, So this year right now I'm doing lots of online teaching and online content creation, online class creation, lots of mentoring. So the digital mentoring where I teach other artists or just people in general, but mostly it's been artists, how to use different programs and that kind of thing. And then just, again, my general painting practice as well. So, my Instagram and creating reels and making a big pivot there into more video too, because that's where those platforms are going right now anyway. That's like the bulk of my business right now.
Can we talk about Patreon for a sec?
Yeah, so I just recently, like just this month, just closed down my Patreon.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did 4 years on Patreon. I created a painting a month every year for 4 years.
Good God. See, that's my fear of people, like that constant need to fulfill always scared me off. And I don't know about you, Gregory, but
yeah. Well, I had one for a little while, and then I was like, I'm the wrong personality. I want to create in a glut, finish it, and then present it. I don't want to share it.
So 4 years of keeping that's quite the accomplishment.
I'm impressed.
Yes, that was 4 years. So that was 48 paintings that I created over the span of 4 years, one a month. It was so good in so many ways. It was such a grind, honestly. I feel like you can definitely relate to this too when, things come up, right? Things are constantly coming up when you're an entrepreneur, you own your own business. Things just like come up and you just like go with them, right? So to have that extra workload every month, it wasn't just to create a painting. It was create a painting. Then after I create the painting, I scan the painting in 4 sections. Then I stitch it together in Photoshop. Then I send it to the printer. Then I go pick it up from the printer. And before actually I send it to the printer, I also create a card version and lay that all out. So I send the cards and prints. It was just like, and then I went and picked it up and then I mailed them out. It was like such a big workload.
It was like 30% making art and 70% shipping, receiving. Is that
yeah,
what
it was
like?
It was huge. So,
and like financially, was it worth it?
Honestly, it was good. But at the same time, I did feel like I had this vision of how it would grow. I feel like this is like the normal vision of like you start something and then it grows and people have this like straight diagonal of how growth happens. And I feel like when you have your own business, you know that it's actually not like that. It's like up and then down and then up and then down. And it didn't quite get to the point that I had wanted it to be.
Yeah, because the rise is in the average.
That's right.
Right, and people have to remember if they're trying to build a business of any sort, but particularly with art, so much emotional investment in the work you're doing already. And then sometimes you put it in there and nobody cares, and sometimes everybody cares, and then nobody cares. And if the average is growth,
yes,
people will look at it on the spreadsheet and say, oh, well, that's easy. It gets better every year, doesn't it? But not necessarily in the actual day-to-day practice of it.
Do you think you can upset the order of the universe and not pay the price?
So it was a bit all over the place. It was like great and then like disappointing when people like someone would buy a house and they'd leave like a top tier and they'd be like, oh, I just bought a house, like this was great, we'll be back type thing. And so like that would be disappointing. And then I would do shows and get new people and like that's super exciting. And then it was just all over the place. And I was feeling these last couple months specifically that like I don't like that force to produce feeling. And my workload is so heavy with video right now that like creating a whole other painting is kind of on the back burner, and I don't want to not create my best work. But I do want to say 100% it was amazing for helping me develop my style. Like creating a painting a month it was so great for me in terms of just developing my craft and getting better. Like so many people are like, oh, like, how do you get so good? Or like, how can I be an artist? Have a 4-year
crunch. You'll get good, yeah.
Yeah, you have to just do it all the time. Like, you'll get better.
My perception of your body of work, though, is about that anyway. But then also I've been watching you over these last 4 years, so maybe that's where it's been created. But, this is, a piece a month. Every month is kind of like on par with what Justin and I are doing just anyway, almost out of compulsion. Right? But if I had to show that this month's piece, you know, like I made 3 new pieces this month. If I had to show them to somebody right now, I'm not ready. They haven't lived with me long enough to be somebody else's. So if I every time had to give it to the world every time, I don't know. That's hard. That's why I'm not on Patreon.
Totally. And you have to like get it ready and like get it to go. Like it's not like you finish painting and then you're done.
As soon
You
as
don't
you
get the
upload it,
basket
it's
in.
over.
Yeah,
No, you have all the physical work to do.
Exactly. And then like, you know, if you pick up the prints and like the color quality, so my eye for color is very tuned. And if the colors are not the way I want them, like doesn't matter, gotta package it up and send it out because you don't have time to redo it, right?
Well, the good thing there is you're the only one who's going to notice. Everybody else's eye for color is not nearly as...
100%. And that's such a good point because I'm very self-critical and my husband's like, no one will notice that. No one will notice that. No one will notice that. Like I'm always like, oh, do you notice? He's like, no, what are you talking about? No one will notice that.
Well, he's an artist too,
and
right?
he's an artist too, yeah. So it's especially,
event.
exactly.
We had these things happen a fair amount of... So just for the dear listeners' point of view, if this is your first episode, Justin and I would visit a lot of different Comic-Cons and shows, and we would arrange with different printers in different cities. And when I say we, mostly Justin had done the heavy legwork to arrange with these printers.
I found the good printer, and then...
Justin had found
Gregory
a good printer, and then
up.
I got to use them.
Amazing.
Right? So
That's
it was wonderful.
huge.
But what I kept feeling this like dread is that the consistency between the specific color I chose might not be the same between one batch of prints and another's in a different city. And Justin one day was like, dude, the guy who has it hanging in his wall in Toronto is not going to put it next to the guy who's hanging it on his wall in Montreal. It's
100%.
fine. If it's a 2-degree difference in tone or shade,
100%.
only you know. Just chill out, dude.
It's so true. And I'm more like you. Like, I'm like, it's not the same. It's not right. Or like sometimes, you know, if the border isn't 0.25 all the way around or 0.125, whatever, like if it's slightly off because of the printer, like moved it slightly. So it's like
we've
thicker.
had to let go of all
bugs
of
me,
those kinds of...
Right? Thicker on one side, thinner on the other side. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, if I'm sending this to someone and I'm saying there's a border of this much and the printer's moved slightly, like, do I have to throw this print out or can I still use it? And then like that little like, you know, thing drives me crazy. I'm like, is this consistent? Is it like, you know?
I actually really like when I print in a different city and I have leftovers and I bring those prints with me to another show and somebody's really interested in the piece and I get to bring out 2 almost different color schemes. Like this one, the blue is really vibrant and this one is dulled down. And the reason for that is different printers and different settings and
Or different
like it kind
paper
of
stock because we were somewhere,
And then they get to pick, right? It's like, ooh, I get to like choose which like flavor of blue I get this piece in.
And I learned from watching Justin that what you perceive as an error, the buyer perceives as a choice.
100%.
Right?
100%. And choice is the best, right?
Yeah.
Like they say, like for little kids, if you want them, you know, like if you're getting them dressed in the morning and you pick out 2 outfits, like they're both outfits that you want them to wear. So you give them the choice of which one and then they feel empowered and you're still happy. It's like the same type of thing, right?
You
it's
give
like,
them 3 vegetables and say, you only have to eat all of 2 of these vegetables.
Exactly.
Right?
And they're both like great for you vegetables. It's like a win-win for you either way.
Yeah, that's just parenting. So you're doing all this online content creation. One hopes that the event will dwindle into just a footnote of history. Do you feel like you want to keep all the changes you've made, producing mostly online content, or are you anxious to get back into in-person events? What is your feeling about what you can take away that you'd keep after the changes you had to make?
Yeah, so one thing actually that's really interesting about in-person versus online is that right before the pandemic hit, I made a decision to stop doing shows. So it hadn't even happened yet.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not going to do shows anymore. It's too much of a schlep. It's too physical. I feel it's like guilty asking my husband to be schlepping shit around for me. Like, it's just too much. I don't want to do it anymore. And I don't feel like, I felt like the I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I felt like the event creators collectively, so that's like a whole bunch of different ones all over the place, we're maybe getting a little bit greedy about booth fees, and it was making it difficult to be super profitable. And if you're not super profitable and you're putting in so much time and effort, it's exhausting and very disappointing.
Right.
So I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want this to be part of my business. I had no idea how I was going to make up the financial aspect of what I was making at shows.
Yeah.
And then
You just knew it wasn't working.
I just knew it wasn't working.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm a huge fan of like, if it's not working for you anymore, like just stop, because it's taking up room from something else, even if you don't know what it is yet. Right. So I made a decision to stop doing shows. And then I was invited to do a talk at MAWA, which is mentoring artists for women's art.
Cool.
Organization here, and the talk was about social media for artists. So I went and I did this talk, and I put so much time and effort into the visual presentation of it, which I was so happy about. It was amazing. The talk actually was so good. It's like one of the talks that I'm the most proud of that I've done. And after that talk, I had so many people come up to me at the talk saying, wow, you totally changed how I thought about social media, and asking me to mentor them.
Isn't it amazing when you do public speaking that there are really special times? I've done a lot of public speaking in my life where the audience actually heard what you said.
Oh my God,
Like there's lots of times where they've come and you're speaking and they're hearing things, but there's a moment where where you recognize that this whole group heard me and saw me, and even if they disagree, they got the whole message. And yeah, those moments just like hang in time.
It was totally like that. It was like magic. It was like, like you used to say all the time, I don't know if you still say it, but preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I had spent weeks on this presentation. I wanted to be visually beautiful because I've been to so many presentations from artists that are so ugly, like PowerPoint ugly presentations. So I made a point to make it beautiful, and just that's how my mentoring started, was after that talk, people coming up to me asking me to do one-on-one mentoring, and then they tell their friends and they tell their friends and whatever, right? But that was so amazing. So anyway, to back up, my point was that I had made a decision to stop doing shows right before the pandemic hit because it wasn't feeling right to me anymore.
The dark is where we'll stay. We're cursed.
Is there not we can do?
And when you say shows, you mean like comic conventions and craft sales and
Yeah,
gallery events?
exactly.
Just like all...
Yeah, like any type of shows, like not necessarily gallery events.
Okay.
Like I just finished a gallery event, so.
Ooh, tell us about that.
Yeah, so I had a show with my friend Zafira from Anarchy Design, who was below here.
Directly below us. We
Directly
can
below you.
Wait,
in the
let's all
studio.
stomp our feet.
Yeah, she's not there anymore. She's not here anymore, but yeah, so we did a show together called Collabosaurus Rex, which was a collaboration show about collaboration between artists with a sprinkle of dinosaurs. And that show was up at the Assiniboine Park Pavilion Gallery.
Which you've been in there a couple of times.
Yeah, they've been really good supporters of me, which has been amazing. Yeah, so it just ended on the 5th, actually, of this month, but it was up. It was crazy. Like, it was supposed to be up last year and then got pushed back a year. And then, we finally set it up in May, I believe it was, of this year. And then they extended it, which was amazing. So it was up till the 5th.
And so did you guys have like an opening night event, and then it was just on display for a couple weeks?
Yeah, so because of all the craziness of what was going on, we didn't do any opening or anything.
That's sad. That's like the fun.
I know, it
part
is
that
actually pretty devastating because we had been planning the show for like the first time we talked about the show, I think, was like 4 years ago. Like it's been so long, and it was so great to have up. And I know it sound weird to say, but I'm happy that it's done. Like it was supposed to be shown like a year ago, and then, you know, we had to wait another year before
Were
we
you
could
able
have...
to add to it in that year between? Like, did you chip away at it a little bit?
Yeah, we
or-
did add to
Okay,
it a
that's
little
cool.
bit, so like that's good. But it's like when you start a project and then by the time you finish it, if you are working on a project for years and years, sometimes when you finish it, you're not in the same place anymore.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I kind of felt like it was one of those things where like I just wasn't in that place anymore, right? Like I was working on other things and, you know, but anyway, it was great.
I'm sad you didn't get to have that opening. And to anyone
Yeah.
listening, I would highly recommend. Cal Barteski and I, a number of years back, did a masquerade event, and so it was a very well attended event. There's about 500 people came through it, and we were in masks. So nobody, for the first couple hours of the show, we got to move around anonymously, watching people's reaction to the work.
I was at that show.
You're right.
Me too, yeah.
Yes.
Without anybody knowing, you know, if they didn't know us personally, like to recognize us, if they had just come to the event, we got to watch so many unbridled, like, both, like, you know, snubs, like, oh, I don't like this. Why are we here? Versus, like, oh my God, like this, I need to have this piece, you know? And like, there's a moment where a person sees a piece of work and they can't now imagine not being able to see it again. And I imagine you must have this a lot because you paint mostly original paintings for collectors and buyers and people. Tell us about that process of dealing with commissions. You do a lot of commissions,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, I actually just finished a commission yesterday, which was awesome. This was the first year that I didn't. So I typically do like a discounted like holiday commission where I have a certain amount of spots and I discount how much my commissions are. And then for like holiday prezzies, I make like a whole bunch of different commissions. And this was the first year that I didn't do that. And I still got commissions, which was so nice. And it was like this magical kind of thing for me where it's like you get to a point where you no longer feel like you have to advertise or like maybe not even advertise, but maybe, what's the word? Like sacrifice?
Compromise?
Compromise. Thank you. You no longer have to compromise. So I felt like that this year, like, you know, whatever, if people want me to do stuff, they'll message me. And if they don't, whatever, like I'm busy anyway.
You don't need it, right?
Exactly.
It's like going for a job interview when you already have a job that you love. Like it's
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a different vibe, right?
I like that.
Yeah. So anyway, it's amazing that I still got, you know, like I just think that's so cool. And it's really interesting doing commissions because it's a total mind F. It's like you're doing it and you're like, this is so good. And then you step back and you're like, okay, who is this for?
Yeah.
Are they going to get it? Are they going to connect with this?
You're trying to put yourself in their shoes. How are they going to view this? Is this going to make them happy? Like
And that's different, right? Because normally you're like being empathic with your own work. Like, how does this make me feel? How does this make me feel?
It's
I
a
like
lot
this. I like
easier.
this. I like this. And then you have
Exactly.
to push pause and be like, how would Bill feel
Exactly.
about this
Or
piece?
like, for example, I just finished one. It was for a brother a brother was giving it to a brother. Okay. So it's like, I'm like, okay, like, I don't know this guy at all. I don't know either of them, to be honest.
Right.
Like the brother who commissioned me was referred to me by someone. So it's like, I don't even know him at all. And then like, it was for his brother who I don't know at all. And it's like, so I'm trying to get information about it. And then like, I'm painting it. I'm like, yeah, I love this. And then I'm like, is he going to love this? Is this what he wanted? Like, I don't know. And you know, at the beginning of the process, when he came to me, I said to him, okay, like, here's my commission page on my website. I want you to go look at my style and tell me if you like my style.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the style I work in.
Yeah, you're hiring me.
Exactly.
I'm not just
Yeah.
giving you whatever you want. You're hiring
Exactly.
me
Yeah.
to give you what I can do.
Exactly.
because you're at that point in your career. You don't have to draw like anybody else. You get to draw like you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, these are the colors I use. This is the style I paint in. Like, I can only create what I create. Like, do you like my style? And he was like, yeah, totally, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, cool. I think that part's really important too.
Yeah.
To say, like, this is what you're going to get. Like, something like this. Is this what you like? Because it's like, like you were saying, like I'd rather say to them, like, you know, I don't think I'm the right fit than spend so long putting everything I have into this piece and handing it off and then be like not that into it, right? Like you can never tell, like you never know how they're gonna feel. But so I'm packaging it up tonight to drop off, and I just feel like so exposed every time I drop off a commission. Like
do you stand there while they unwrap it? Are you
so
present?
this is the whole thing is typically
It's like an opening. You get to have an opening.
That's right. Typically, I give it to them unwrapped, and I like watch the reaction, and it's like such a good moment. But I feel like because of like everybody's varying, like different views of like what's going on and different like personal safety, whatever, and like different feelings about everything, I was like, okay, do I like give it to him unwrapped? I was like, no, I think I've decided that I'm just gonna like wrap it up for him and give it to him, and then just like, you know, wait for him to email me or something. Like, you know, like because like I don't know, and like I don't know. It's like when you don't know someone at all, it's like this weird like elephant in the room, right? It's like.
But I can see now too, one of this, you're talking about word of mouth spreading. Every time somebody comes into those living spaces and sees this one of a kind painting and says, "Where'd you get that?" They say, "Oh, this was done as a commission." Like that grows and grows and grows in the telling, right? Totally.
And I think that like, you know, one of the artists that I love, his name's Alpay F.A. I probably butchered how I say his name, but he's European. He's from Germany. So I think he's in Germany. I'm pretty sure he's in Germany. Anyway, he was talking about how he hates when artists sign their paintings on the front. And he feels like it takes away from the piece and all this kind of stuff. And I just like couldn't disagree more. Like I love this guy so much, but I just totally disagree.
It's funny because I feel that too. I find that my own signature, I dislike when people ask me to sign the front of a work. I'm like, well, I didn't consider it in the composition.
I like when it's subtle. I hate when it's like what my eye immediately goes to.
Okay, so I totally respect the subtlety, and I'm actually working on trying to make mine a little more subtle to like not like, you know, exactly what you said, not so your eye goes straight to it. So like I get that, and I get also not adding it into the composition. Like I get everything, but for me, I feel like, you know, it's such a like proud moment to sign a piece, and just like you said, if this piece is hanging in a friend of a friend of a friend's house, then, you know, let's say like a friend comes over and they're viewing this piece, right? They're not necessarily going to say, "Oh, who did this?" or whatever, right? So if you don't put your signature on the work in a legible way,
it's never legible,
right? Like I don't know, mine's like pretty legible, but not everybody's is legible. Then I feel like you're losing an opportunity of someone discovering you, right?
I agree. Yeah.
So for me, I feel like I love it because I feel like it's my work. It's a part of me. I feel like excited about signing it. I like my signature. That's another thing. So it's like, you know, there's that, right? Not everybody likes their signature. Not everybody's signature is legible, which is cool too. Like it doesn't have to be. But for me, I feel like it's a free advertising.
We must find a champion. Bold of heart and pure in spirit.
My sensitivity around signatures, I think, comes from a couple of 90s comic book creators, which I will not name, who their signature seems more important than the piece they made.
Right.
Yeah. So that I see that's being
and I grew up through that. I owned a comic store. Like I saw that.
Nobody cared about what was underneath that signature.
It's only of value because the signature, and so everything is built just so that I can put my signature on it. And so that just it holds this like this psychic weight whenever I'm like, no, will I sign it? I'm like, ugh, I don't want to be like that. And so I put it on the back.
Yeah,
I like
totally. I get everybody's argument. Like I get that.
But they're all personal, right?
Yeah,
like
right.
It's not like a practical. Your practical answer of like, shouldn't someone be able to find the piece? That's actually the best. I think if you're listening to this, don't take my advice. Take Cori Jaye's advice. Cori Jaye's is the sound advice.
When I've had tons of people come up to me at shows who had bought from me in years past and tried to track me down but could not for the life of them read my signature because it's far from legible. So they had no idea who had done this until they found me in person again. So like
so
I totally
that make you want to like make it more legible?
No.
Or you feel like you're like it is how it is. It's you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's subtle and it's kind of this nice little swoopy thing in the bottom of the corner that shouldn't be the main focus. I kind of like what, I don't know if Dave Oro still does this, but mutual friend of ours, David Oro, he doesn't sign his name. He has a little symbol, almost like his own little logo.
Yeah, it's like
that he puts
it
in the
almost feels
corner.
like a woodcut stamp. But
Yeah,
he draws it on, yeah.
So cool.
It's a pretty little thing.
It is
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah.
you know, for everyone different,
Yeah.
I think. For everyone different. What is something that you didn't know you'd learn this year?
I don't know.
Video editing. I feel like I'm quite. I think that's a spectacular thing to get better at and to learn. And I know that's something
I always feel
think
inadequate after we've talked with Cori Jaye.
Yeah.
That's how I always feel.
like I feel especially online, like just video and art seems to be merging more and more and more. Like the really big artists have YouTube channels and they're doing like time-lapse paintings and talks, and I think that's kind of where the industry is heading. And I feel like I should get better at filming, editing, and like including that process to be able. So I'm jealous that you're getting much better at that than I am.
Actually, my YouTube. So I've been building a tiny YouTube for like 3-4 years. Like super, super, super basic, like time-lapse painting videos when I first started. And then I've tried to do more in-depth videos. And one of my videos just hit the algorithm like just right. And is like, I think it's like close to 10,000 views now, which is like, yes, it's not that much, blah, blah, blah. But for me, that's like so exciting. And so one of my focuses that I want to spend more time on is creating videos just for my YouTube, which are different than teaching videos.
Again, don't apologize for an accomplishment. Consider how thrilled the publisher would be if a book sells 10,000 copies in Canada.
Yes.
You've already put your work in front of 10,000 people.
Yes, it's just, you know, there's always varying degrees to like everything, right? And I want to be like, well, because it's not a thing for some people, but a thing for others. It was a thing for me.
Yeah.
It was great.
So, anyway, little success on YouTube after like 3 or 4 years or whatever is really exciting. And so, just like you said, I feel like the art world and the video world are merging so fast. So I'm really happy to have these skills. And actually, if we want to take it way back to graphic design school, after I graduated from graphic design school, I felt extremely lost. And I was like, why did I take graphic design school? I should have just gone to art school. I don't understand how this applies to my life. And I felt like that for like almost 10 years. And then when I started doing video, and developing my website more and using some of that graphic design knowledge and just, you know, computer knowledge, it all kind of clicked to me in my like, you know, path of life, why I was there. And it's interesting I say that because sometimes you'll do something and you're like, why did I do that? Even after you don't understand, but it could come clear, you know, 10 years later, like, oh, I did that because of this. And like now me being so like involved with technology and the art side is just really interesting to me because I wouldn't have thought that would have been a thing, especially if you talked to me after that program when I was like, why did I even take that program, and then went back to painting.
Yeah, but had you only been traditionally trained, never taken that, you probably wouldn't have the website presence and the YouTube page and like the video editing skill.
I wouldn't have the base knowledge of computers.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So, which I think is so important in today's world.
Well, and especially for artists, and any fledgling artist that doesn't matter what kind of art they want to get into, whether it be comics or paintings or whatever, I say graphic design is a great one to take. Just so many little things you'll learn, even just coming up with your website even.
Yeah, totally.
Well, right, and graphic design at its core element is just presenting an idea that can be clearly understood.
Yes.
By the viewer.
Exactly.
And so if you have practice doing that, then you can do a lot with that idea. And there's, lots of scaffolding and framework and rationale and practice that goes into doing it. It's not as simple as that, but ultimately that is what a good graphic designer does. It takes a complicated idea, presents it to a person who's never seen it, and they go, oh, I get it.
Exactly.
Right?
I think it's really important just to say that it's like never too late at any one stage of life to learn any type of technology. Like, so in my mentoring practice, a lot of the people that I mentor are people that didn't grow up with technology. So people from baby boomer demographic and the generation above, which is the lost generation, I think it's called, or something. Or
We're all feeling a little lost these
yeah,
days.
there's like some weird name for it. Maybe it's not. It's like lost or secret. I don't know. Anyway, so for example, like I have this lady. She's 74 years old, and I'm teaching her how to use Instagram, and it's been amazing. Like she's an artist. She's an amazing artist, and just having to teach someone like what a like is, what a feed is, like all these things that maybe a younger generation would take for granted. It's really fascinating to try and verbalize this in a way that someone can understand, to teach them about, online platforms where they don't exist in real life. Yeah. So like just the digital language was a huge, barrier that we got through, and then the difference between a story and a reel, or like a feed post, and like who's going to see your feed post and what a follower, like all these things. It's just so interesting to take them down to like the very basic state so that you can convey that to someone else so that they can start to use it. So she's just doing amazing, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see someone who's, in that age group, wanting to learn, wanting to challenge themselves, using technology for the first time. Like,
when did we get to the place where we're normalized not learning new things? That there's a point where you're just supposed to not have to learn anything new. When did that happen?
I think it's like more so I think it has to do with being, like, the obsession with being young and being too old. I think it's more about that. I think it's people feel like if they haven't had success at a young age, then what's the point of trying? I think it's more about like you're too old for doing this. That's
such a poisonous idea,
past that stage in your life. That was, now that you have a career, you've passed your education stage.
Exactly.
So you can't go back there now.
Yeah.
That's such a poisonous and detrimental idea.
So bad. That's why I wanted to say, like, you can do anything at any age, right? Like, and
it actually, what it does is it breeds many gullible people. Like, it makes you susceptible to liars, is what it does. If you won't learn new things, then you can be tricked easily. And I think that's dangerous.
What is a bell that does not ring? Yet its knell makes the angels sing. I know you.
Where would you like to be in 5 years with your art business?
I would like to have developed my online presence more, in terms of like my YouTube as well as my classes. Like I said, like even just getting the classes up, like I have so many classes that are done that aren't even uploaded to this new platform that I just started. Okay,
so you're building a library that's only going to get more and more robust.
That's right. I'm trying to build it, and it's just so time consuming.
But you'll continue to make like the episodes that you made already. You'll be able to still make money off them.
That's
as
right.
you build more and more and more.
That's right. So
that's great.
Basically,
why don't you give up though?
Passive income.
Passive income is, but yeah, I'm building the passive income so that when I start a family, that kind of thing, I can still step away and not feel that like stress. Like, what am I going to do?
Okay. 2 points. Oh man, so many things I want to leap in here, but I want to keep it focused on you, Cori Jaye. Let me ask you this question. Why didn't you give up? You have this, in your own words, a small little YouTube channel, and finally, after 4 years, it reached some people. I don't know that I've put 4 years of effort into anything that didn't at least have at the beginning a monicum of encouragement. What are the things that are encouraging you? And I don't mean monetary remuneration, but like, why did you keep doing it?
I think there's like a very simple answer to that, and that is because I love doing it. Yeah. And like everything that I do right now digitally is intertwined in some way. So like, for example, if I'm going to make a YouTube video, I'm going to format it so I can post it to my Instagram as well, or post a teaser to my Instagram, or post a whole video to Instagram video, whatever. So it's like everything that I do has multiple places where it lands, and I love doing it, right? So I love creating content for Instagram. I love creating video content. I love helping people, like creating videos that have different projects that are interesting that people get excited about. Like I did shipping, how I ship paintings for cheap and easy, whatever. I put that up on my YouTube channel. So actually I did like just a time lapse. I talked at the beginning about how I source all my materials for free. I did 2 separate videos. So the first one was, I source all my materials for shipping paintings for free. I don't buy anything. This is where I source them from. I'm going to do a time lapse of me packaging my painting, and if you want a detailed video, let me know. Okay, put that out in the universe.
Right.
Okay, for a year it did nothing. Then it started getting like thousands of views, and I was like, okay, like people are interested in how to pack their paintings. So I redid the video so I did another video, and then the second video was very like, it was a 20-minute video cut here. Like it was very much like fold here, blah, blah, blah. I got all the materials from the dollar store. So normally I would get free materials because of the pandemic. That was more difficult.
Right.
So I just bought dollar store cardboard, trifolds for like science fair type thing.
Oh, yeah, for
and
sure.
then showed people how to do that with foam core. And then that video ended up doing very well. And I've been getting comments on it like, oh my God, thank you so much. This is a lifesaver. I was panicking about how I'm going to get this, blah, blah, blah. Because specialty shipping is for paintings is like
Nightmarish.
Oh, God.
total nightmare. Like
Our
so.
studio neighbor here, Vlad, has to do with it. And at
Actually-
the beginning of the pandemic, I helped him haul in a bunch of stuff that came back from galleries.
On the way into
Yeah,
the
and
studio
his
the other
paintings are
day,
huge.
he was having not an argument with a delivery guy, but basically the delivery guy had showed up, opened the door, and went, "My truck isn't that big. I can't take that painting." And he's like, "I told them exactly how big it was. Like, our truck can't fit that."
Oh,
He's like, "Well, you have
no.
to go get another truck then, because
Exactly.
this has to go out. You said you'd take it."
It can be a nightmare,
Yeah.
right? So anyway, the fact that that video is doing well is like just a testament to like A, acts of service,
Yeah.
and then B, it's like, who knew that who would connect with that? But so many people have like left comments being like, "Oh my God, thank you." And to me, like that's everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I like to say, well, I mean, I think about it in a different way than the term you use is active service, which is like to give back a little bit. But I try to have like time with peers, time with mentors, and then to mentor others. I try to build that
Yes.
into every week.
Yes.
And it's I think a good recipe for a pretty full life. But let me get into the nitty gritty of your day. This sounds like a long to-do list every day. Tell us what a day in the life of Cori Jaye is.
Well, when I left I left a marketing manager position at a large company to pursue my dreams 4 years ago. And
See last podcast with Cori Jaye.
one of the things that I wanted was to be able to wake up and decide how I'm going to spend that day.
Yeah.
So that is a huge part of how I wake up and decide what I'm going to do that day is based around how I'm feeling. And I want to have as intuitive of a practice as possible. So I try and leave enough time in my timelines to have flexibility. Whereas, if I just want to like wake
I love
up.
this. You plan your flexibility.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So some mornings I wake up and I do nothing. And it's great. And then that evening I feel super creative. And then I spend, I work till 1 o'clock in the morning on a painting like that evening, but it wasn't planned.
Do you feel comfortable talking about how that affects your relationship? How
People with normal
yeah,
schedules.
Yeah.
Those people.
Yeah, for sure. So my husband is a creative manager for a company. So he does graphic design, video, photography, blah, blah, blah. And
What
then,
do you guys have in common? Like, what do you even talk about?
right? I know. He's so awesome. So he has a more structured job, right? Like 9 to 5 type thing. And he built a specialty computer from scratch, which is so cool. And he built it at our house. So we have this one PC specialty computer that's amazing, that does video editing and all this kind of stuff. So he's now working from home more too. And so it's this kind of juggle where he could go to the office if he wanted to. Also, like, he has this amazing flexibility now that'll be forever, where he can work from home or not work from home. So if he's working from home, I don't do video editing while he's working. And so that can be kind of challenging, because if I have a deadline coming up and then he's working from home, I'll say to him, hey, do you mind going to the office so I can use the computer? And he'll be like, sure. And it's always been totally fine. I feel like we're just like so good at communicating and doing all that kind of thing that like, it's literally never been an issue. Like, he'll just then go to the office for the day and I'll work from home or that kind of thing. But it does also like kind of say what I do that day, right?
You might, so you just concentrate on traditional stuff, and then all your computer stuff just has to wait until the evening.
Exactly.
Which is something I like doing more hands-on stuff at the beginning of the day.
Totally.
And painting later at night.
Yeah,
Or
totally.
painting on the computer later at night, rather. But
And like, I can still film. So like you said, like, if I'm painting and I'm filming, I can still film and paint while he's on the computer.
Right, because
and
you're going
then
to use other audio anyway.
Pardon?
Because you're going to use other audio over top of
Yeah,
it
exactly,
anyway.
exactly. So and then whatever. So so it's been actually like really great.
can I ask what you use to film? Just
Yeah, I use like the camera.
yeah.
Yeah, so I have a Sony A113.
Okay. Just
A7, sorry. Sony A7-1113.
Like, is it an SLR camera that also does video, or is
Yes.
it? Yeah.
and then just on a tripod, and you just
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's on a tripod on my table, and I just got some money to update my equipment. So I wanted to get a second camera. So I want to get a second Sony camera with a flip screen. That's more for...
So you can see...
Yeah, there's like a really popular one. I'm not really good with the names of the cameras, but there's a really popular one that's not super expensive. I think it's around $500. And so I have a second angle, but then also if I'm doing like filming of myself, I can see myself. Because right now, the camera that I'm using doesn't have a flip screen.
So you're not quite sure if you're out of frame or...
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Or
Gotcha.
I've done in the past, where you like wipe your forehead and you have paint on it or ink, and now it's on your cheek and
Yes.
then down your nose, and then, you know.
That's
Yes.
a video that's going to go viral for sure.
Yeah.
Idiot
Yes.
painter.
Yeah. Idiot
Honestly,
painter
Makes a
screws up
mess.
again.
Yeah.
I did. So my setup is actually, I'm farsighted, so I can't see close up. So my setup with the tripod on the table, I can't really see at the height that I'm standing to see if it's in focus or not. So I actually have to get my husband to come in and make sure it's in focus for me. So I was filming a class. I painted for 8 hours. I asked him to come in at the beginning. I was like, is it focused? He's like, yep, it's good to go. I must have bumped the camera.
Oh.
Bumped it out of focus, and then filmed 8 hours of painting with it
no.
out of focus.
Yeah, you really need that reverse viewer so you can, yeah.
And then I loaded it up to look at the footage to edit it, and it was devastating. Like, I can't even. And I had a deadline for this too.
Oh,
so
no.
then I had also started 2 days early just to have some more flexibility.
Well, thank God you did that.
Thank God, because that got cut, and then I was back to how I normally work, and it was so disappointing. Like, I had to repaint everything. It was devastating. Honestly, I can't tell you. Like, so
We've recorded some podcasts that we didn't hit record on, so.
Yeah, we have entire
But those are
excellent
only like an
conversations
hour,
that
so-
were just...
devastating though,
Yeah.
but still devastating, right? Especially if they're good conversations and
Well, digital art's got a lot more stable, but early in the day, there'd be, Photoshop would crash, and it would take like 10 files with it,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And you would just
No recoveries,
just
right?
no
Yeah,
recovery. You would just weep because like 2
devastating.
weeks of work just vanished, and
Yes.
people would be like, "Didn't you back it up?" I'm like, "Yeah." Somehow that's corrupted too. Like, there
Yeah,
were
it
so
won't
many
work.
bugs in those early bits.
so
Right.
bad.
Save often.
Save often,
Yeah,
save in
it's-
multiple places.
Yeah, saving multiple
Yeah,
places.
Save
Version
to
1,
the
version
cloud,
2,
save,
version
yeah.
2B, version
Yeah.
C.
Final.
Yeah, final.
Yeah.
I still do that. I still do that so often.
Thank you so much for sharing your art practice with us and the journey that you've had over the event. And we hope you're willing to come on the show again and show us what changes and why it changes and how it changes.
Yeah, I love coming on the show, and I love talking to you guys, and I feel like we could just talk for hours and hours and hours. And, you know, I can't wait to come back again.
Well, this has been Super Pulp Science. I'm Gregory Kamichuk, encouraging you to join the fight and make comics.